homesteading to prepping to common horse sense, we are College Hill Farm. I love it early here on College Hill Farm. The dew fog is just now starting to rise off the garden. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, today it's time to harvest onions. Now, what we're harvesting today is green onions. They were always planned to be green onions. This is what we're going to get today. What we're after is this part mainly. We love to use these in stir fries and stews and different stuff. It adds that pop of color and that pop of flavor. We'll get rid of these old leaves that don't look good. They'll just get gone, but I'll worry about that as the video goes, and we'll show you how to process these to get them ready for the freezer. You know that this channel is all about no-bend gardening. We do everything we can to eliminate bending. Now, I would love to tell you that we have some kind of special tool that we use to harvest these onions, but I don't have one. I haven't come up with nothing yet. I'm going to work on that, but I haven't come up with anything yet. So, to harvest these onions, got to bend over and get them. But to that end, I brought my tractor over and put the bucket forks on. And what I do, in order to help my back, I use the tractor as a steady. I reach here and get a hold of the bucket or a hold of the forks, okay, and that allows me to bend over and pull these onions out without straining my back so bad. Okay, I've got a whole row of onions here to get. Matter of fact, I've got 2 rows, and each row is going to have about, I planted them right at 6 to 8 inches apart, and this is a 100-foot row, so it's going to have somewhere around 170 to 200 onions per row. So I've got to get it harvesting those. I tried to keep count, but somewhere along the line, I was up to 280 onions, a little over halfway down the row, and I lost count and just gave up. So there's probably 300 to 400 onions in here, anywhere in between there. Could even be a little more than 400. So my little back's about had it. It took me just a little over a half an hour to harvest all these. Now, what am I going to do with them? Well, my back's hurting, but the rest of this is all sitting down. Well, pretty much sitting down. So let's get up to the watering hole and figure out how to get these ready to go into Crystal. All right, we're back here in the shade. It's going to be shady here all day long. I've taken the bucket forks off because I don't need them now. I don't need to steady nothing because most of this is going to be done sitting down. But what's happening right now is I am filling this tractor bucket up with water. That'll be our first initial wash. I'll wash all the dirt and stuff off the heads of the onions, and then I'll put them in a tote and fill this tote with water. Then they'll get a second wash that'll wash the tops and everything. And then I'll show you what we do with them. Okay, I got my bucket full. I'm filling my tote now, but all you do is you take an onion and this initial wash, all I'm trying to do is get off any mud. It's quick. You just wash them as quick as you can, toss them in the tote. And because I left off the hoeing for about 3 weeks, those weeds that you saw were in there for 3 weeks was all. It just took 3 weeks to get that many weeds. So, rinse these off. What I'm after is the mud. Okay, on this first one is the mud. Then into the tote. Okay, this is my onion processing setup. Right here, I've got that tote full of onions and water. And this is a wet process, okay? I'm soaking wet right now, okay? Everything on me is soaking wet. So, we had a big dew, harvesting the onions. I was soaking wet. So, now I'm going to get even wetter. So, what you do, you pick an onion, and anything that looks bad, you're going to take off. This old nasty skin, I'm just going to drop it right over here beside me. Get it out of the way. So that's gone. Then I'll take this onion. Any leaves that look bad, I'll break them off where they look bad and just toss them down. See the tip of this one? It looks kind of tough. Just toss it out of the way, the tip of that one and that one. Just toss them right here beside me, and later, oh, broke a whole one off. Now, once I've done that, this goes for a plunge in the water. Rinsed it off good. Then I'll take and cut the tip off with my knife. I don't know why I'm using the scissors. I'll cut the tip off with the roots. Then I'll take the head and put it right there in that bucket. Now the rest of this gets cut up for green onions. Cutting them in about 1-inch long strips. And no, you don't have to blanch onions. You just cut them up. What's going to happen here, that looks bad. What's going to happen here is I'm going to cut these up. I'll put the heads of the onions in this bucket. I'll put the greens of the onions in that bucket. And there'll be a little bit of the head left in here that'll be white looking. And so what you wind up with is a combination of green and white in here, and then just the heads over here. Crystal uses the heads like pearl onions. We put them in different stuff. So I've got, somewhere between 350 and 400 onions to process. There'll be multiple 5-gallon buckets. Now what's Crystal going to do? You don't have to blanch onions. So I'll have these with their initial first wash because I washed them in the bucket. Then I'll wash them again here and then cut them up. And then Crystal will go through and wash them again and put them in Ziploc bags. A pound at a time or 2 pounds, I don't know. We generally don't weigh onions, we just shove them in there. And then all winter long we have green onions to put in anything, stir fries, whatever. Okay, ready to take the first two 5-gallon buckets into Crystal. You can see how many white and red onions I've got in the onion bucket, but then the tops, of course. Now, one thing I do want to show you, when you're cutting up these onions, if you look at these 2 onions, this one's got, if you compare it to the size of my finger, these are about the size of my finger, not much bigger, but these are starting to get big. And now listen to it. Hear that when I mash it? Those don't make as good green onion top, so mainly we just cut this part off. I've got an idea for these. I'm going to try, but I'm going to do it before I put it on video to see if it would work out. So these are about what we're after for green onions. So it's time for me to get these 2 5-gallon buckets into Crystal. There's this much left in the tote and that much left in the bucket. I've been at it now for almost 4 hours today. Okay folks, there's the haul after it's done. Crystal washed everything 3 or 4 times, and then the white onions, she decided to go ahead and slice them with a food processor. These are real easy to use come winter. It's pretty awesome. We wound up with 31 pounds of green onions and 13.5 pounds of white onions. So that's not too bad. I'll put a breakdown of the total cost for all this, and so you can see what it costs to do it. Now, if you like this stuff, this homesteading, do-it-yourself kind of thing, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. We do this homesteading stuff every week, sometimes 1, sometimes 5 videos. Just depends on what's going on in the homestead that week. If you hit the little bell when you come to the channel, it'll notify you when we upload a video. We upload every Sunday. Now, with that being said, it's time for me to get on to the next thing.